Well, tragedy has struck Bobby Brown once again with the sudden death of his son, Bobby Jr. He was found dead in his LA home. CNN reports that LAPD responded to a call for a medical emergency. Bobby Jr. was pronounced dead at the scene. In the days preceding his death, he was experiencing flu-like symptoms. Bobby Brown Sr. said in a statement, "Please keep my family in your prayers at this time. Losing my son at this point in our lives has devastated my family. There are no words to explain the pain. The Brown family has suffered tremendous loss over the years with the death of icon Whitney Houston in 2012 and Bobby Christina in 2015. Bobby Christina's boyfriend, Nick Gordon, whom Bobby Brown wanted to be held accountable for Bobby Christina's death, he died in January 2020. Bobby Brown Jr. was 28 and rest in peace. Rapper Lil Wayne has been charged in Miami with a federal gun possession offense stemming from an incident 10 months ago. In December 2019, a handgun was found in his luggage on his private plane. Lil Wayne's attorney, Howard Shrebnick, said there is no allegation that he ever fired it, brandished it, used it, or threatened to use it. There is no allegation that he is a dangerous person. The charge is that because he was convicted of a felony in the past, he is prohibited from possessing a firearm. In 2009, Wayne pled guilty to a gun charge after a gun was found on his tour bus in New York. Following a plea agreement, he was sentenced to 1 year in prison. He was released after serving 8 months. And federal law prohibits convicted felons from possessing guns. Lil Wayne's court date is scheduled for December 11th. If he is convicted, he faces 10 years in prison. The Fresh Prince of Bel Air reunion just kicked off on HBO. The HBO, as you know, Uncle Phil died of complications from open heart surgery back in 2013. And the HBO Max special included a visual walkthrough of making the show rehearsals, episode tapings, and reflections from the cast. So shout out to Will, who invited the original Aunt Vivian, the OG, Janet Hubert, to be a part of the special. And many fans wondered how the original Aunt Viv disappeared. So the moment that everybody was waiting for was for Will Smith to sit down with Janet Hubert. Janet explains how she was offered a really bad deal in the show. She was having a baby, issues with her family, and an abusive marriage. Janet also explained that she stopped talking to people because she didn't know who to trust and was told Will was the reason she was being banished. Will said he felt like everything was a threat to him at the time. He did apologize to Janet for all the pain he caused her. Janet also apologized for blasting him over the years. As you know, Janet has done several videos blasting Will and accusing him of destroying her career. So what I also wanted to point out is how Janet says she lost everything. And she said that calling a Black woman difficult in Hollywood is the kiss of death. And it's hard enough when you're a dark-skinned Black woman in this business. So as Blacks in as Blacks in Hollywood, colorism is so real, and it's even more real for dark-skinned actresses. And I remember paying attention to how in some Black movies and sitcoms, quite often darker skinned women were given like minor roles, or even the roles where they had to play like a ratchet or ghetto character. And I also recall a personal experience, and this doesn't necessarily deal with the colorism per se, but more so the struggles of being a Black actress in general. And I'm sure that many Black women can relate to this, but I auditioned for a supporting role in a film, and I read the lines as I imagined the character, and the director asked me to read it again. But this time, he said, read it differently. I did, but that wasn't what they wanted. So they asked me to read the part of another character and told me to be more urban. So when I read for the other character and added some ratchetness to the character, they loved it. So there's a lot of, Black actors and actresses, that stuff that they deal with in Hollywood, which is why we need to continue to be Black content creators, create our own shows and movies. Is right now we have more opportunities and avenues that we can take, and that's what we need to do. So I just want to shout out, the Fresh Prince of Bel Air, the sitcom, for assisting and opening doors for Black actors, actresses, producers, and directors to build upon the success for Blacks in the industry. So if you get a chance, check out the Fresh Prince of Bel Air reunion on HBO Max. And
wow.
Did you want to say something?
I'm just excited that pretty much that everybody decided to just say, let's get this bread, let bygones be bygones, and who knows, I mean, it can possibly turn into something else, a reboot, I'm not sure, but at the very least it gave people some visuals and gave them the opportunity to work again, and I think that's the biggest thing that we can take from it.
Yeah. She said she carried that with her and it bothered her for 27 years.
Wow.
Yeah, she did some rants on her social media a few times about how it was upsetting. And it was also to the point of her saying, was there colorism? Her being a dark complected woman and then being replaced by
somebody light skinned, yeah.
Yeah, like what's that about? So there was a lot of points and valuable points that she made.
It's I know this is definitely for another show, another topic at another time, but I just wanted to say this really fast. I had a woman say to me one time, I was hired to do a job, and I showed up, and when I got there, she was like, she looked at her husband and said, "See, babe, I told you," and he was like, "Here you go again," and I didn't know what they were talking about. And she said to me, she said, "I was happy to find out that you were light-skinned, because I just find that light-skinned Black women are so much nicer." And she felt like dark-skinned Black women are mean.
Wow.
And I was like, I don't know, it's like, okay, I mean, you look at me and you say that thinking you can say, I mean, like,
it's a compliment to you.
Yeah, but it's like my mother's dark skinned, you know what I mean? Like, I mean, I don't, that's what thing about, about.
And this was a Black woman.
This was a Black woman,
yeah.
It's the first time I had ever heard that, and I thought, so yeah, I wonder if they felt like, let's hire somebody light skinned because they'll be easier to work with. I never even knew that was a thing, or that people would think that or feel that or say that. But I guess it kind of put me in a place where it made me feel like, almost like how white people feel. And it's like, oh, I didn't know they felt that way, because I don't experience it because I'm not dark skinned. So I don't know what the dark skinned woman is being treated like. And it's horrible.
Exactly.
Because my mom, like my grandparents had two daughters. One was dark skinned, one was light skinned. My mom was dark skinned, but her sister's light like me. And she would tell me stories about how, when they growing up in the South, how her and my aunt were treated different. But it's weird.
The one thing I will say, what I have been seeing, I watch a lot of TV, a lot of movies, and I'm starting to see it appears to be a change. It appears to be a little switch where they're starting to not only cast a lot of the darker complexion people, but you're starting to see a lot of leads in a lot of movies just casting Black people, period. Without the idea of this racially ambiguous person playing a Black lead, so to speak, right? They're actually giving Black people playing Black leads. And so I feel like there's some light at the end of the tunnel. I mean, we just have to keep pushing the narrative and making sure that we can talk equality and justice, and keep advocating for it.
Exactly. And we need to keep creating our own stuff. Because we put people in the places where we want them to be, And if you look at dark skin Aunt Viv and light skin Aunt Viv, dark skin Aunt Viv was talented. She was talented. You remember the episode with her in the dancing?
I like, yeah. I actually preferred her over the other option. It took me a minute to get used to it. It was like, but when you're used to a certain cast and they switch cast, you always lose viewers when that happens. Also,
yeah.
But it also shows that she was talented, and Will said he felt intimidated. You feel intimidated when you are, when you're paired up with great talent, and just how they're having that red table talk and being able to mend their differences. It shows that even within our community is where it starts, and he started it on his show. So kudos to to Will Smith about that.
Yeah, kudos. That's what's up.
Yeah, and hopefully it'll bring, of course it can't overturn the damage from the last 27 years, but hopefully it will bring some closure to Janet Hubert, and maybe she'll start getting work again, because how many of our white counterparts have you heard them being called difficult to, or like, the black woman syndrome, or difficult to work with, and they have not gotten jobs.
I heard of them, but they still get work. But they
still
difficult,
get work.
but they still get their work.
Well, exactly. I don't know if you heard the sizzle, but it was a statement put out into the atmosphere after that aired by Monique. Were you going to talk about that?
I thought about her. Yeah, I thought about her.
Monique put a statement out there, just quickly saying, if Will Smith and Aunt Viv can make up, then so should me and Tyler Perry be able to. So I'm waiting for my apology.
And then she played the phone call that he left one on. Did you hear that one?
But I don't know if he gonna give an apology, but okay.
He gave one verbally over the phone.
Okay,
as they were talking, and she recorded it, but it wasn't like something authentic like Will Smith and Janet did. Yeah. And she's right. I think she needs that. And by Lee Daniels. She deserves that, because everything she stood for is showing in the light that they did blackball her.
Yeah. And not only that, I mean, when you talk about Netflix, she was right. She was on point. I mean, arguably, she has been almost right about everything that she has been saying. So it's
but it's not what you do, it's how you do it.
That's true.
Okay,
that's true.
Because Miss Jaguar Wright apparently has been right about a lot of things she said too, but the way she's going about it is all wrong.
Yeah, she wants
But also, just to play devil's advocate, Monique was told that by Steve Harvey, and he said the same thing. And she said, "Is it the way we do it because that's how white America wants us to do it? Is it because we coming to white America, who is the gatekeeper? Why are we not admitting to certain things that are truth? Because we're doing this to be politically correct for them. So the way we doing it is only wrong because Western society is saying that it's wrong."
I'm gonna say this because I understand that, and I think that has merit what you said, Spark. The only thing is, black people has always been or took the position of, you keep the business in the house. Whatever happens in the house, you keep that in the house. Don't be taking that outside. And so the way that she did that, I mean, she pretty much exposed a lot that kind of should have been handled inside. But again, it was. I mean, if it's not being handled, then I guess so. Like I said,
it's more so it's not being. I think it's looked at that way because it's not being handled in a professional manner. It's being handled through emotion, which comes out like all crazy sometimes. You know what I mean? It just people start saying things and then they want to apologize later because they want to take it back and they didn't really mean it. When you start doing all that kind of stuff, it gets out of hand. It gets out of hand. It gets really, really messy.
We went over time. You got another story, right?
Yeah.
Oh, the Celebrity Sizzle Award of the week.
Yeah.
That goes to NBA star Russell Westbrook. He is not letting COVID-19 stop his annual Thanksgiving dinner giveaway. Westbrook gathered his team and PPE, and they hit the streets of LA. TMZ reports that Westbrook's Why Not Foundation teamed up with the LA Regional Food Bank and others to host a drive-through event at James Owens Park. Westbrook tweeted, yesterday my friends, family, and I were in LA handing out Thanksgiving meals to those in need. Things are challenging right now and people are struggling. This is why it is more important than ever for me to support my community any way I can while keeping everyone safe. Hashtag why not? So shout out to Russell Westbrook for moving forward with his annual Thanksgiving initiative to support the community that's very much in need, especially during this pandemic where people have lost their jobs and are struggling to feed and support themselves. So I'm your girl, Lauren Sizzle, and that was the Sizzle.
And that was the Sizzle, ladies and gentlemen. This your boy, Charles Gregory, with the beautiful
Lauren Sizzle.
And the beautiful
Classy Lady Sparkle.
And the beautiful
Lady S. Dot.
Definitely in the building.
Wait,
man.
what happened to Lady S. Dizzle?
Only time go after Lauren Sizzle.
Oh, all right.
There you have it, man. That was our show. We had, I feel that was a lot of information in that show.
You guys, it's your girl Lauren Sizzle
and Classy Lady Sparkle.
And have you subscribed to our channel yet?
If the answer is no, you need to subscribe now.
Yeah, so stop what you're doing, go right now and subscribe. We like you, you like us, so go ahead and subscribe.
Come on over, be a part of the family of We Talk Weekly and subscribe to our YouTube channel.
So what are you waiting for? Subscribe
now.